10 R&B bands, 10 lead singers everybody assumes were the band, and 10 times they were wrong. Some of these voices got fired, some got paralyzed, some just walked out the door chasing a bigger paycheck, and every single time the band didn't fold, it got bigger. So if you think the man up front was always the whole story, stay with me. By the end of this list, you're going to look at every one of these groups completely differently. Number 9, Shalamar. Picture 3 of the most electric performers to ever come off the Soul Train dance floor. Howard Hewitt's voice, Jeffrey Daniels' body poppin', which basically introduced the UK to breakdancing, and Jody Watley, the one everybody assumed was just the pretty face in the middle. By 1982, that trio had 3 gold albums. The second time around hit the top 10. Shalamar wasn't just a group, they were the group. Here's the thing. Behind the scenes, Watley and Daniel were furious. Royalties weren't adding up. The label wasn't paying out what the group felt they'd earned. By 1983, right after recording the Grammy-nominated Dead Giveaway, both of them walked, left Howard Hewitt standing there with 2 empty mic stands and a label that still needed an album. So the label did what labels do. They plugged in 2 brand new singers, Mickey Free and Delisa Davis, and pushed forward like nothing happened. And here's what nobody saw coming. The very next year, this unproven, untested lineup landed a song on the Footloose soundtrack. Dancing in the Sheets climbed to number 17 on the Hot 100, bigger on American pop radio than almost anything the so-called classic lineup had scored. The Replacements outcharted the Legends, at least for one song, but the real twist is what happened to the woman who left. Jody Watley went solo, and in 1988, she didn't just have a hit, she won the Grammy for Best New Artist after 8 years in a group that barely let her sing her own songs. The Recording Academy basically confirmed what Shalamar's name on the marquee had been hiding the whole time. There was a star standing in that lineup, and the band wasn't what made her. If anything, it was what was in her way. So who was the asset in the trio's name or the people inside it? I'd argue Shalamar was never really one thing. It was a vehicle, and vehicles don't care who's driving. Real talk, only 9% of you are subscribed. That hurts. We're spending hours digging through archives, fact-checking every detail, bringing these stories back to life. And if you're watching this far, you clearly care. So hit subscribe. It's free and takes 2 seconds. Now, to my subscribers, barely any of you have joined the membership. And honestly, that stings even more. You know the work we put in. You keep coming back. If these videos have ever made you feel something, if this music means something to you, join the membership. It's $1 coffee a month, and it's the only way we keep this going. Let's build this together. All right, back to it. Number 8, The Dramatics. Everybody who knows soul music knows In the Rain. That falsetto cry on the chorus, the thunderclap sound effects, the whole thing sounding like heartbreak set to weather.
Once the rain starts falling on my bed.
It hit number 1 on the R&B chart for a month straight in 1972 and cracked the pop top 5. Here's what most people don't know. The voice carrying that lid, not Ron Banks, the man whose name is plastered across this group's history. It was William Weegee Howard. I know, that's a mouthful of a nickname. But Howard's voice is doing the heavy lifting on both of the Dramatics' two biggest crossover hits.
May sound crazy, but I wanna go outside.
He co-led What You See Is What You Get right alongside Banks in 1971. Then he took the entire lead on In the Rain by himself a year later. Here's the problem.
Once the sun comes out.
Inside the group, Banks and Howard were quietly fighting over who actually got to be the lead singer. Two strong voices, one microphone, and a producer who kept handing Howard the ballads. By 1973, Howard had enough. He left and took saxophonist Elbert Wilkins with him to form a rival group. Banks held on to the legal rights to the Dramatics name. Howard didn't. If you've ever done everything right, written the parts, carried the songs, stood at the center of the biggest hits, and still ended up being the answer to a trivia question instead of the headline, you already know exactly what happened to Weegie Howard. The Dramatics didn't fold. Banks brought in a young singer named L.J. Reynolds, and the hits kept landing. Be My Girl, Shake It Well, both top 5 on the R&B chart.
Let me go, let me go, let me go.
The brand survived, the legal name survived. Ron Banks became the face people remember. But next time, In the Rain comes on, and that falsetto breaks your heart all over again. That's not the guy whose name is on the group. That's the guy who got left behind by it. Number 7, Atlantic Starr. If you've ever danced your first dance at a wedding reception, there's a real chance it was to Always. Number 1, Pop and R&B both in 1987. Quietly one of the most played wedding songs of the last 40 years. Here's the thing about Atlantic Starr, almost nobody clocks. The woman singing on Always was not the woman who built this group's reputation in the first place. That was Sharon Bryant. She fronted the band through its entire run in the late 70s and early 80s. When Love Calls, Send For Me, Touch a Four-Leaf Clover. By every account, Bryant was the voice of Atlantic Starr.
When you come around, you bring pride.
Then in 1984, she left for a solo career, and 4 other members walked out the door right behind her, gutting the band down to just the 3 Lewis brothers and 1 percussionist. So the Lewis brothers, the actual songwriters, the architects of every Atlantic Starr hit you've ever heard, did the only thing they could. They hired a singer nobody outside the band had ever heard of, Barbara Weathers. And here's what happened next. Weathers' very first album with the group produced Secret Lovers, the biggest single of Atlantic Starr's career to that point. Her second album produced Always. The 2 biggest hits this band would ever record both came from a singer who wasn't even in the room when the group built its identity. Then Weathers left too in 1988. They brought in Portia Martin, then Rachel Oliver, then Aisha Tanner. 5 different women fronted Atlantic Starr across 2 decades. And the band's 2 signature songs both happened in the second era, with the second lead singer after the real one had already walked away. You know what that tells you? The asset was never the face out front. It was David and Wayne Lewis writing the same kind of devastating melody over and over for whoever happened to be standing at the mic that year.
It will be you.
Number 6, The Manhattans.
Please don't don't stop me till
Kiss and Say Goodbye. #1 on the pop and R&B charts in 1976, platinum in 4 countries.
please, darling, don't you
If you were at a slow dance anywhere in the back half of the 70s, you heard Gerald Alston's voice carry that song into the rafters. Here's the thing.
understand me? Won't you try?
Alston wasn't even supposed to be the Manhattan singer. The group's original lead, George "Smitty" Smith, was the voice that built their reputation through the 60s. Then in 1970, Smith was diagnosed with a brain tumor.
Take my handkerchief and wipe your eyes.
He died that December, 12 days before his 31st birthday. The Manhattans needed a new lead, fast.
I guess what we done, oh, was wrong.
They found a college freshman named Gerald Alston performing with a gospel group down in North Carolina and brought him in. And under Alston, the group became bigger than they had ever been, with Smith out front.
Baby, you will find your
Kiss and Say Goodbye. Shining Star, which won them their only Grammy in 1980. Hit after hit, all carried by that smooth Sam Cooke-influenced tenor. But here's what gets me.
I'm gonna miss you.
The man who actually wrote Kiss and Say Goodbye, the song's whole emotional architecture, every line of it, wasn't Alston at all.
Just kiss and say goodbye.
It was Winfred Blue Lovett, the bass singer standing in the back, the one who rarely took lead on his own songs. Lovett wrote it. Alston sang it. The world remembers Alston's voice and forgets Lovett ever existed.
This is something I hate to do.
And if you've ever watched someone else get the credit for the thing you actually built, you know that particular ache.
It's gonna hurt me.
Alston eventually left for a solo career in 1988. The group brought in a replacement and never quite hit those heights again. Proof maybe that you do need somebody who can sing.
Gonna miss you, I can't lie.
But the deeper truth of the Manhattans was always this. The voice up front changed once by tragedy and once more by choice.
I can't lie.
The man writing the songs underneath both of them barely changed at all.
Please don't stop me till
#5, Heatwave.
came true. And I know
Boogie Nights, Always and Forever, maybe the most quietly perfect slow dance song of the late 70s.
with a smile.
The voice on both belongs to Johnny Wilder Jr., the American serviceman who started the band in Germany and brought it to London. Here's the thing.
When I look at you.
Wilder didn't write those songs. The man who wrote nearly the entire Heatwave catalog was a soft-spoken British keyboardist named Rod Temperton, who answered a Musicians Wanted ad Wilder placed in a local paper. In 1977, Temperton quietly left the band to focus on songwriting full-time. Nobody outside the group thought much of it. Then in early 1979, tragedy hit Heatwave twice. Bassist Mario Mantes was stabbed and left paralyzed, unable to speak. Months later, Johnny Wilder himself was in a car accident that left him paralyzed from the neck down. The literal voice of the band could no longer stand on a stage. Here's what's wild. While Heatwave was rebuilding its live show around a new singer, J.D. Nicholas, Rod Temperton, the guy who'd quietly walked out 2 years earlier, had become the most in-demand songwriter in the entire music industry.
There'll always be sunshine.
He wrote Off the Wall. He wrote Rock With You. In 1982, he wrote the title track to an album called Thriller.
Tomorrow will still be the same.
The man who built Heatwave's actual sound wasn't the paralyzed singer everyone associates with Always and Forever. He was the guy who left before the tragedy and went on to help write the best-selling album of all time. And you know what's worse? Heatwave kept going anyway. Even after losing their bassist, their singer's ability to walk, and the songwriter who made them who they were, they still charted Gangsters of the Groove in 1980. Johnny Wilder kept singing in the studio from his wheelchair right up until his death in 2006. That's a story about one perfect moment and the people around it going on to have an even bigger one somewhere else entirely. Number 4, New Edition. This is the one a lot of you already know, even if you've never thought about it this way. By 1985, Bobby Brown was the breakout personality of New Edition, the one with the edge, the one girls scream for. The other 4 members, with their labels backing, voted him out of the group for behavioral problems. Here's what happened next. Brown went solo, and by 1988, he had Don't Be Cruel, one of the biggest R&B albums of the decade, with a Grammy for every little step. On paper, the story writes itself. The band fired their biggest star, and he became a bigger star than the band ever was. Except that's not actually what happened to New Edition. The remaining 4 members brought in a singer named Johnny Gill, a guy who already put out 3 solo albums that nobody bought. In 1988, the new lineup released Heartbreak. And here's the part that should stop you in your tracks. Heartbreak became New Edition's most commercially successful album ever. Bigger than anything they made with Bobby Brown in the group. Double platinum, 5 hit singles including Can You Stand the Rain and If It Isn't Love. So both stories are true at the same time. Bobby Brown became a massive solo star, and the band he left behind had the biggest moment of its career without him. I know that I can count on you. New Edition was never just Bobby Brown's group, even when he was the one everybody was watching. It was a machine built by 5 Boston kids and a producer with a vision, and the machine kept running just fine with somebody else behind the wheel. Tell me, can you weather a storm? And if you already know which era you'd pick, Bobby's or Gill's, I can already see you typing it. Number 3, The Spinners. It's a shame. I'll be around. Could it be I'm falling in love? The Rubber Band Man. If you grew up anywhere near a car radio in the 70s, you know every one of these by heart, even if you couldn't name who sang them. Here's what's wild. None of those 4 songs share the same lead singer. It's a Shame, written and produced by Stevie Wonder in 1970, was sung by G.C. Cameron. But when the Spinners left Motown for Atlantic in 1972, Cameron was contractually stuck behind, so the group turned to his own cousin, Philippe Wynne, to take his place. Wynne didn't just fill in. He became one of the defining voices of 70s soul. I'll be around. Rubber Band Man, 5 gold albums in a row with producer Tom Bell. Stay with me, though, because the story does it again. By 1977, Wynne wanted the group renamed after him. When the others said no, he walked, chasing a solo career that, outside one minor hit with Parliament Funkadelic never really happened for him.
Whenever you call me, I'll be there.
So the Spinners brought in a third lead singer, John Edwards, a guy with some minor solo success and not much else.
Now it's up to you.
And in 1980, this lineup, the one nobody outside the group had much faith in, scored Working My Way Back to You / Forgive Me Girl, which hit number 2 on the pop chart and number 1 in the UK.
I'll be there. I'll be around.
3 different lead voices, 3 completely different men, and every single configuration produced a hit big enough to define an era of its own.
But I know there's always a chance.
That's not luck, that's a machine built to keep running no matter who's standing at the mic.
I'll never be there. Want me, I'll be there. Just
Number 2.